All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. This is Shane Eachus, joined by Aaron Ortega on color commentary, and we are all set for game number 2 of the night. And Aaron, a little interesting here going into this one. We've got Maple Zone Brazil taking on Friend Central, and I'll tell you what, right now, the records of these two teams certainly kind of a mirror of what we may have expected at the beginning of the season for this point in the year, with Maple Zone Brazil currently sitting at 4-3, and Friend Central struggling, sitting at 2-4.
Yeah, coming into the season, would have expected you said, Shane, these teams to be flipped. A very talented team for Friend Central. One of the bigger surprises in the league this year with Maple Zone Brazil. So, again, Maple Zone Brazil is in good playoff positioning here going forward. Friend Central is going to need some wins.
Yeah, they are, and you mentioned Maple Zone Brazil being in good playoff positioning, but with how logjammed we are up at the top, they certainly need to pick up a victory too if they want to keep on pace to make it into the playoffs. What would you say are their keys to finding a victory here tonight?
Well, key one for them is going to be using this playoff motivation to get yourself another win, fuel themselves going forward. You're right on the cusp of making that playoff coming into the game, tied for the fifth spot. So, like you said, logjam at the top of the standings. These are the games where it's going to really start making a difference. A big key going forward for them, taking that motivation. They've gotten this far. Don't fade off now. Continue going on strong. Key number 2, force somebody besides Mike Cook and Akeem Warwick to beat you for Friend Central. Those guys Monday night, had 54 of the 81 points for Friend Central in that game, and 56 of their points the night before of the 80. So these are the guys that are really the predominant scorers for Friend Central. If you can take them out of the game or even slow them down a little bit and force anyone else on Friend Central to beat you, you're going to improve your chances of winning by a lot. Key 3 is going to have to be Bilal Salam. This is a guy who can really elevate down low, a human highlight reel, one of those type players, can really get up. He's going to have to defend Akeem Warwick and also score a lot against Akeem Warwick. He's going to play, pretty good defense inside. Bilal Salam's going to be the main interior threat for Maple Zone Brazil, so he's going to need probably a good 15, 20-point night for Maple Zone to come out victorious in this game.
Yeah, you mentioned Bilal Salam. What about Friend Central? They've certainly got some size out there on the floor when they've got a full roster, but night in and night out, we don't know who's going to show up for them. So what would you say are the keys for them to pick up a win and maybe get themselves back on that track that may give them an opportunity to get in? I mean, they're going to really need 4 straight wins here at the end of the season to qualify for the playoffs.
Absolutely, and that key one becomes this is desperation time, and you got to use that with your backs against the wall. Kind of the same thing as Maple Zone. Build off that. A little bit different, though, for Friend Central. Put your backs against the wall and say, all right, we've got to do it. It's us versus everyone now. And use that fueling yourself forward. Get in the playoffs. Get those last 4 wins. You finish with 6-4, and a team that's very capable of finishing with these last 4 wins with the talent that they have on paper. They could easily sneak into the playoffs. They just got to play a little bit better of a game. Key 2, play smarter basketball. We've seen a bunch of games in a row from them where they'll just throw the ball down the floor to Akeem Warwick and try to utilize his size and make a quick bucket, but it'll end up in the front row of seats in the, under the basket. That's not going to be effective for them. They need to slow the pace down. Don't turn the ball over. They've killed themselves with turnovers these last few games. If they can just play a smart game of basketball and utilize their talent, they'll be fine. Key 3, though, you got to get some production from somebody besides Cook and Warwick. We say it every time, and that could be Emil Jefferson, that could be Mustafa Shakur, depending on who shows up. But regardless of who you have to show up, Friend Central needs somebody besides Warwick and Cook to score the basketball and provide a third scoring option that'll make those two even more effective.
Yeah, so there you have it, folks. We'll see who shows up here tonight, and we'll see what these two teams can get going. And that game between Maple Zone Brazil and Friend Central Alumni is just ahead. Stay tuned.